Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 6. So, I think many people will be happy that there are no exercises for this week, but you will submitting the sort of writing up research results. So, a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, I sent an announcement about this, but the article that was selected for you guys to analyze for your discussion question this week has statistical tests that I'll be honest, like I wouldn't be able to tell you if the use of a Verimax was appropriate. So I apologize, and I apologize if that was stressing you out. I also think, given the things that you most likely will be asked to do in your professional career and the things that you're reading and looking at, understanding that is not critical to your success. So I did swap that article out. Another thing I noticed, several people have emailed me and said, I'm kind of looking at these statistics. I usually rely on the discussion to figure out what's going on. That's what most people do. I myself, a lot of times, like I'll read kind of the intro and then I look at the discussion before I actually read the results. So then, because the discussion is where that researcher, that writer is telling me, here's the major things that I found, then if I'm curious, I'll go back and look at the actual statistics and see how they did those tests. Especially if like something's surprising to me, but it's okay to rely on the discussion to kind of figure out what is going on there. And again, also keep in mind, if you are really interested in this and want to know more, taking, like, even if you take the survey research class in our program, or if there's statistic classes elsewhere, you can learn so much, and there's so much to learn. But what the goal of this class is that you get the foundation. So once you kind of understand what it means to be statistically significant, that you understand that just because two numbers are different doesn't mean that, that is something that we need to make decisions based on. So I just want to kind of alleviate some of the stress and anxiety that you guys have been feeling. And so when you're writing up the report this week, what it's asking you to do is kind of put those charts and then tell me, what does that mean? And so, like last week, somebody had asked in the discussion board, so even things like, okay, I know what the mean is and I know what the standard deviation is. So if I have a scale of 1 to 5, hold on, let me mute my phone. Sorry about that. I'm back. That was just a coworker with a question. So again, this week, what you're going to be doing is asking you to kind of run some of these tests. And then the things you would want to report are kind of what are the means, what are the means of those two groups? And is there a statistically significant difference? And then from that, what would you get? Oh, and I remember what I was talking about before. When it comes to, like, if I know the mean, but then also another thing that gets reported with some of these tests are the standard deviation. And that can tell me something too, because if the standard deviation is really large, that means those answers are in a much wider range, right? Whereas if I have a small standard deviation, that means the answers are much closer to the middle. So we can also make inferences about that of, if the average on a scale of 1 to 7 is a 5 and the mean is a 0.5, that means most people really, really agree. Now, if that standard deviation is a 1.5, all of a sudden we're looking at a 3.5 to a 6.5. That's a much broader range and shows more variation in that group's responses. So those are the types of things that you want to be thinking about. And again, going with what are the ultimate goals of the class is, how do you make decisions based on the information you have? So if I know that there is a difference in the way that freshmen versus seniors view something, what does that tell me? Do I need to target the freshmen to get them to change a certain way? Does it mean I don't need to invest energy in a certain group? Is there certain messaging that is lacking with a certain group? So you can think about all of those kind of things as you do that write up. And again, I just want to say a heartfelt, not really apology, but that I feel for those of you who are continuing to struggle with SPSS. I know some people have been with tech support. I've heard of crashing computers. If you continue to have problems, let me know. There are some alternative ways that you can do some of this data analysis. using like some online tools that you could download. And honestly, if worst came to worst, you could use Excel. It's a little bit clunkier, and but there's lots of online tutorials, and you're going to get the same information. So my goal is to help you and help you be as successful as you can be. So just shoot me an email if you need something, and otherwise, have a great day.